Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Thank you so much for bearing with me. A little bit late today. I was working on this great bull call spread here on Intel, and I'm just going to put it up here a little bit in a little bit. But for anyone that's looking on TikTok, super easy to get in on this trade. It's a bear call spread. We're coming up on earnings for Intel basically in on Thursday, and this trade might be really good. So basically, to get the trade, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then you basically will be able to do the bear call spread. So it's a pretty good trade, and we're going to I do expect there's going to be a drop in Intel. Maybe about 6.2%. We don't know yet, but looking pretty good on that. Just a kind of a nice trade. Also putting it out to everybody on the Discord room. So if you're in the Discord room, take a look at this trade. I'll be posting it as soon as as this is over with. Or if you have access to TikTok, just go to TikTok. Um, Click on my link, and then just go to the profile, click on that, and you'll be able to you'll be able to get you'll be able to bring that up. So hopefully, without further ado, let's get into some of the questions here. Let me pull this up. All right. And of course, we had a change in the market direction today. We went from a confirmed uptrend to a market trend under pressure. So basically, the best thing to do right now is to sort of sort of move back a little bit on everything. It's a good time to go to cash. I'm pretty much in cash right now. But I do have these spread trades, and again, one of the great things about options is that with stocks, really all you can do is is buy a stock and hope that it goes up. Well, with options, we can actually profit from a down market, and we're getting ready to be in this down market. So this is might be an opportunity. And again, I've put this up there on Beacon. So all you have to do, if you're on TikTok, just go to my profile, click the link, and you'll be able to you'll be able to get a copy of it. It shows you how to do the trade, like I'm doing it. Just wanted to take a look first at the Nasdaq Composite, and of course, we did kind of fall down here significantly. We're currently at 14,202, which the critical level, of course, is 1,400. We're still above that. That's essentially where the 50-day line is, if you can see here. But we did fall down significantly. So it looks as if we may be starting the beginning of sort of an adjustment. And so we've got to be very careful about the way we trade now. We probably don't want to be initiating any new positions. And I can't reiterate this more. Just try to say it again and again. This is not a good time to necessarily initiate new positions that are long, meaning that we're buying the stock. The time now is to probably, take some of our profits and see if we can stay there. Now, we can make money in a downtrending market, and the way you do that is with these spreads. Now, unfortunately, if you have a Robinhood account, you need a level 3 authorization to do these kind of trades. So you might want to check with Robinhood if you're on Robinhood. It's easy to do with TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab. Again, you got to have an options. You got to have options authorization, and you have to have level 3 options authorization. But getting to the Nasdaq, we have pulled back here a little bit, kind of not the greatest situation. Let's take a look at the S&P as well, and I just kind of want to show you that again. Pull back on the S&P. We're right at the 50-day line. Now, hopefully, we'll get a bounce here. We've had several bounces. Again, we had a bounce on the S&P back at the beginning of June. We also had one kind of in mid-April. So we may get a bounce here, but this is a severe pullback, and it is looking like we may be in the beginning of the start of a correction. So we are in an uptrend under pressure, and that's a really important thing to realize. Let's take a look at the Dow and see how that's looking. Again, it's pulled way below. Now, the Dow is sort of the canary in the coal mine, and that one has pulled below the 50-day moving average. So we may be in correction territory here pretty quickly. So we want to be careful. We don't want to initiate any new positions. We want to start building cash and that way we can, we can really do something here. Just wanted to show you this trade, this bear put spread, a bear call spread that I have on Intel, and hopefully in a second when I get some bandwidth here on the other machine. Well, I'm frozen on my other screen, so hopefully I'll get some bandwidth here in just a second. There we go. Come on. All right. All right. Well, let's see if I can just change this out. No, I am frozen on my other machine. So hopefully, there we go. It looks like we have some. Looks like we've moved. There we go. So it looks like we have some bandwidth now. So hopefully I can get back there, and we're going to go back and see if we can put up this this bear call spread on Intel. Now, Intel is going to be announcing earnings on the 22nd of July, and the way I'm looking at this, Chris, what I have seen is that unfortunately this is not going to be a good earnings for Intel, but there's a way that we can profit from that, and of course the way that we can profit from that, of course, is with this bear call spread. So let's go through that really quickly. Let me see if I can pull this up, and it will open recent. There we go, bear call spread, and let's get to it. So let me pull out share the screen out so we can all see it. All right. And of course, by the way, everybody that's looking on TikTok, you can take a look at everything that I'm doing right here. It's on youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So hopefully I will get the cursor back here, and in a second, and it looks like we will be able to share out the screen. So hopefully we're going to get the cursor, and again, we're a little bit bandwidth constrained. So hopefully we're going to get that in just a second. Until then, let me just kind of explain kind of the way this works. Basically, this is a bear call spread, and well, okay. Hopefully, we're going to get the ability to share screen. Oh, there we go. We got it. Okay, super. Okay, we're going to share that screen out. There we go. All right. Finally got enough bandwidth to make this thing work. So there we go. So hopefully we'll get share there. And still waiting on the okay, still waiting, and hopefully we're going to get a share here. Sorry about this. I'm having issues with my bandwidth on the YouTube channel. We are a bit constrained, but anyways, just give you an idea of sort of what this is. And you can, by the way, you can see this by going to my profile, clicking on the link, and basically what it is that if you do this spread, you will get the entry cost is $7.69, and what that does is that's net credit to your account. So basically, if you do this, you're going to get the money initially into your account, and the way that kind of works is like this. We're going to be buying the 55 August call, and we're going to be selling the 45 August call. Same date, the 20th of August, and this will allow us to get into the trade. And when we do the trade, we'll get a net credit of $769 approximately for this account. So what is going on here is we do expect the price of Intel to move lower, and because of that, you get the idea. As it moves lower, you become more profitable in this trade. The earnings report is on the 22nd here. That's right here. So we kind of do expect by Thursday, possibly to have a profit on this of approximately $732. That's what we kind of expect. That's where we want to close it, if indeed that is the case. Here is the chart. Kind of giving you the chart going from low to high, and unfortunately we've broken through this very critical 200-day level. That's the reason for this bear call spread. And the great thing about bear call spreads is that they can be very profitable when the market is in a correction. So hopefully this will allow us to take advantage of that. Now hopefully I'll get my cursor back here in just a second on the live, but if you want to take a look at this, spread, it's very easy to do. If you're looking on TikTok, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then you can take a look at the spread. It will ask you for your name and email address so that we can get everything to you. But that's all. So it's totally free. So without further ado, let's get to some of the questions here. Hopefully, we're going to get the cursor back on the show here pretty quickly. I'm still constrained on my bandwidth once again. It just seems to have closed out. So hopefully we will get to that in just a second. Let's see if there's any questions from TikTok. Okay, let's see. Okay. Haha, unfortunately, I'm sorry to hear about this, that you do have losses. Remember, one of the most important things that you can do when you're in a situation like this is make sure that you have your stop losses in. I always recommend everybody that you have a stop loss in. Now, hopefully, I'm going to get. Hopefully, I will get the. Well, I am not. Hopefully, I'm still having issues with the feed on YouTube, and I am frozen. I don't know exactly why I am, but I seem to be completely frozen out. So let's see if we can go to. Okay, there we go. I think we have sort of gotten back to some of the trades here, but let's do this really quickly. Let's see if we can get to some of the questions. And this is a question from Mohammed, and this is regarding NVIDIA. It should come up here in just a second. There we go. We should be getting this. So hopefully we'll be able to take a look at NVIDIA. Of course, as we've been indicating for about a month now, this is the day that NVIDIA is. This is the last day that NVIDIA will be as an unsplit share. Of course, I've been selling since Monday. I sold out basically all my positions on Monday and Tuesday, and now I am pretty much not with. We're going to see it come through earnings. It's going to drop, and it has dropped considerably already, but we are going to see it probably drop a little bit more. Let's see if I can get a chart up here. All right, NVIDIA. And of course, if you've been watching me for a while, this is exactly how we predicted it was going to trade. It was going to trade strong into the earnings, and then weaken, come through earnings, and then it will weaken once again, and then hopefully we will be able to pick it up at this point. I'm still having issues regarding the feed here. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to get back, and it's going to be able to do that. But until then, I'm going to explain to you kind of just visually what's happening. There was a bounce today on NVIDIA. It did bounce up to, and it closed basically at 753. Tomorrow, of course, it will be trading as a split share, and that may give us an opportunity to get back into the stock. We will see that happen hopefully here pretty quickly. Now, I want to see if I can get a share on the screen. Let's see. Come on, baby. All right. Well, I've lost the camera too, so let's see if I can do that. Okay. Maybe I can get a share screen. Let's see. Okay. Great. All right. See if we can do that. Maybe we can get it. There we go. All right. So now we have a screen. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so basically after hours with NVIDIA, we're at 754. Now tomorrow it will trade as split shares. So we're going to be trading, basically, if you divide that by 4, that's going to be where it's going to be trading. Now, if it can move above the 21-day line, we might have an early entry in there. But right now, we're out of the market because we're moving through that split. There's going to be probably a little bit of downward pressure, though we did have some buying coming in. There may be a little bit of downward pressure tomorrow, but after that, it's probably going to move higher. That is probably not going to be the case with Intel. Intel, let's take a look at that chart. If we can get that to see if I can. Again, I'm having bandwidth issues here, and I don't have my charting software right now. Hopefully, you're getting the audio on this. If you're on if you're on YouTube, but right now I don't seem to be getting the. I seem to be frozen on my machine. So hopefully, we'll just wait here a minute or two. It looks as if, there we go. I think I may have a chart now. Okay. So let's look at Intel. INTC, of course, um, is that, and it should bring this up in just a second. We are still constrained. I don't know. There must be a server issue, unfortunately, with this market crash. No, I don't think the market has really crashed. I think I put out to everybody. I put out basically information on that this morning about how we're moving to a market trend under pressure. There's a lot of opportunities here in this market, and of course, there we go. Okay, so here's Intel. And with Intel, I think what we're going to have happen, if you go to the slide deck, and that's easy if you're on TikTok, just go to my profile, click the link, and you'll be able to see it. We're going to be doing a bear call spread on Intel. I do think that we're going to see it move lower based on, based on the likelihood for earnings. If you can see, this is the trend line that I've drawn in here. We're going to get earnings in about 3 days. This bear call spread is what will what will hopefully take advantage of that. It's pulled below the 200-day line, so there is an opportunity to make money here. So let's go to the next question. Hopefully I can get it up. I'm just having all kinds of issues with there we go. BNTX, is it overextended? Well, let's see. BNTX is the symbol. And this is, oh yeah, okay. Germany company that develops, okay, yeah, the problem with playing, unfortunately, these biotechs, and a lot of the European companies are biotechs, is that they tend to be very, very regulatory dependent. So if you get good regulatory information, it does great. If not, it's not so much. It's had some nice earnings here, but is it overextended? Well, let's take a look at the weekly chart to see kind of if, hopefully I can get these charts up here. Again, I'm having, issues with the amount of bandwidth. We just don't have enough bandwidth in this building for some reason. I'm just completely frozen on my system. All right, let's see. Like I said, Jim is Marina. Goodbye. Thank you. How's your afternoon, Jim? What do you think about Documentum and Apple? Hopefully, I can get the charts up here, and I can give you some information on them. But let me see if I can. Yeah, again, I'm just not. I don't have any. Yeah, this is silly. Yeah, unfortunately, this is kind of. All right, I'm okay. So I don't have charts. So let's see what we can do. All right, S&P 10% correction. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Let me show you what I'm showing on mine. See if I can even get anything on here. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to try to close down as many apps as I can here, and I'm going to stop sharing and see if I can get to the point where I can actually show something on the screen. It's very bandwidth constrained right now. So hopefully I can pull up. Yeah, I'm okay. It's just jumping from one thing to the other. So let's see if I can even create a new window here. So let's see if I can do that. All right, I have something is coming up, which is good. Let's go to my allocation. See if that will come up. All right. And by the way, if you're interested in the Dallas Trading Floor mug, it's available now, and I'm going to be putting that up on the site to show you that. So hopefully, in a second, I will actually get video back, and we're not there yet. We're okay. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at my small portfolio and see how that's doing, and let's check in with that. I will have video on that. Until then, let's see if we can answer some questions on TikTok. 10% connection on the AMP. Yeah, no, I don't think the market hasn't crashed. Believe me, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen a crash, but we're moving into a different situation with we're moving into a different situation than we've been in. The market is probably going to be pulling lower. We're going to have higher inflation, and we're going to have some issues regarding things. The market uptrend is under pressure. So right now it's not a good time. Not a good time to be to be adding at this point. I want to show you kind of where I'm at in terms of. Okay, so hopefully we can see this. All right. Wait a second, and hopefully I'll be able to share this screen out, kind of give you an idea, run through of kind of how I'm allocated. I'm mostly in cash. I'm about 33% in cash currently. I do have a position in Nike at 13.9% of the small portfolio. I am in Apple, which is still up. It's up slightly. And I'm in Microsoft and DocuSign as well. DocuSign is doing quite well today. It's up about 4%. Santander Consumer, I'm basically even. I am actually up for the month, which is kind of amazing, being that this has been a tough month. But let's see if I can. There we go. Let's see if we can get the screen up and show that. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go. Finally, I'm up with the system. All right. So basically, what's happening here is, this is sort of my take on it. We have moved essentially into a situation where I'm moving more into cash, but I'm in the big cap techs, Nike, Apple, Microsoft, DocuSign, and Santander Consumer. That's sort of where the allocation is right now. Let's see if I can. Well, I don't think I can operate. I'm trying to see if I can come back here. Here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm probably going to have to sign off here because I don't have any bandwidth on my machine, and unfortunately, it's just Thanks for holding there. Sorry about that. I'll see if I can get. So I tried to go. It's a little bit more bandwidth. So hopefully, Jay, we can get this rolling. Let me pull back onto the to live here. Right. Okay. All right. I think I'm back. I think I'm back now. Thanks, Jay for holding. Bounced off the 200-day, like you said. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. Let me see if I can. I was having some very big issues with some of the things on my machine, so I'm sorry about that, and I'm going to hopefully have that up here in just a second. Um, take a look at it. There we go. Okay, looks like I'm getting some bandwidth now. All right, let's look at that. Um, UVZI. Let's take a look. Yep. Okay. Well, it does look like we have a bounce, which is excellent. Yeah, that's usually the reason for the bounces. Like, what, why, you might ask, well, why, Jim, would you say that? Well, the reason I say that is because the reason I can kind of tell that there's going to be a bounce is because of the way most of the trading is done now. Most of the trading right now is programmatic trading, and it's done with, and it's usually done at these levels. And so it definitely is the case. We came down to the 200-day line, we bounced, but we're still, unfortunately, we're still in this downward trend. So if you might want to consider, if you're in this and you have a loss, you might want to consider. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put an alert on this line, so that if it moves higher, that we can get back in it. But right now, I think you got to close your position, even though the relative strength says 96. It just this is not trading very well right now. The checklist is good, but I think you've got to be a little bit careful right now in this issue. Now, don't obviously don't close your position if you're down less than 7%. Don't do it. Just put your stop loss in, and then as it moves up, move your stop loss up, and then if it pulls back, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. So that's kind of my advice. If you're in it, I would hold it, keep it moving upward, and then you can definitely you can definitely make um, you know try to keep your profits there. Let's look at Virgin Galactic, see how it's trading right now. SBCE. And thanks for bearing with me. I just had some massive, massive technical problems here. I had to double gang my. I have 200 megabit Ethernet connections into the wall, and I had to go. I only had one, and I went to two. So hopefully that will take care of some of the problems here that we've been having. Virgin Galactic looks like it's bounced off of the 200-day line. I'd be a little bit careful entering here. I kind of want to wait until we move up to about 35 before getting back in. It did trade after hours at 32, so not necessarily a bad thing. Taking a look at it here, it did bounce, so that's looking pretty good. I probably would not be a buyer at this point because of the overall trend of the market. Right now, the market is in a downward trend, so we have to be a little bit careful with the way things are trading. We really do. It's just we have to be careful about that, and just be very, very careful. So, but if you're in the issue and you're positive in the issue, always stay in the issue, because you never want to get rid of profit when you have it, but you want to cut your losses though when they happen. Let's look at Nvidia again, because of course tomorrow it is going to be trading in the split, as a split issue. So it did correct a little bit. I did most of my selling on basically Monday and Tuesday last week. That was right when it moved below the 10-day line. Of course, it did collapse below that. I do think it's going to rally. I do think it's going to rally, but let's wait to see before we get back in. I think this could easily rally on a split share basis up to $200. But let's just wait on it. We may have may have another bite at the apple on Nvidia. That would be fantastic. So so remember, Nvidia um, trades as split uh, on after today. So that's one thing we got to remember. It trades as split after today, and we could have a good opportunity here. I also want to look at another stock that I have in the portfolio, and that is DocuSign. DOCU is a symbol on that one, and that one is doing great today. So this is another one that I think we have another option on. Right now, DocuSign is up a little bit after hours at 289.97. There is a buy point on it at 290.23. So we are moving right back into that buy zone. This is a good time if you're looking for a counter-cyclical stock. I wouldn't recommend going in with full-fledged with this one, but if you do have a position in DocuSign, you might want to consider adding here. It's looking very good, and it did bounce off that 21-day line. That's very healthy, even considering the market. So this is another one that you might want to look at right now, and that is DocuSign. DocuSign definitely, is set up very nicely. Now, yeah, as I say, I've been saying to everyone, well, reduce your positions and all that, and that's true. But this is one that you could probably, depending on the strength of the market, you got to be real careful. Set your stops very tightly. But this is right at a buy point, so looking very good on that as well. So. Thank you very much for holding on here. Well, I have my technical problems. How was your afternoon? Okay, thank you for beautiful Thailand. I wish I was there with you. I wish I was there with you in beautiful Thailand, in Phuket. I love Phuket. Um, let's look at Apple. As I say, believe it or not, and even in this market, DocuSign is buyable right now. So that's very that's very interesting. Let's look at Apple. Apple is still, it's fallen, but I don't think it's going to remain down. But it definitely has fallen. It's back into the it's back into the buy zone. Okay, it did fall quite a bit today, but again, it's moving up at after hours. So, it just kind of it's still in a buy zone. It's still buyable. It's still actionable. We'll see what happens after after tomorrow. But I'm still in this one. I still like this one, of course, a lot. But right now, I think if you're going to look between the two, DocuSign and Apple, I think you got to go for DocuSign right now. That's just the best way to go. Hello, do you still have the Amazon pred? We're going to enter that trade. Well, here's the thing, Fernando. I wouldn't enter the Amazon trade right now, the Amazon spread. I still have it. I'm a little underwater on it, but I have till basically August. I've been closing pretty aggressively, closing trades today, but I do have a trade that I'm probably going to be, because of the show, because of the technical difficulties, I wasn't able to put on but I will show it to you right as we speak, and that is the Intel trade. There is a potential for a nice bear call spread on Intel. They're going to be having their earnings, and it doesn't look good for them. This is a way you could possibly profit from that. And one of the great things about options trading, as opposed to just as opposed to just regular share trading, is that with option trading you can many times you can many times take advantage of a downward trending market. And I don't necessarily think that the overall market, it's the end of the world, kind of market, but we're going to definitely pull back. There's no question about it. So I just kind of want to show you this trade for basically, for illustrative purposes. And I'll have this out on the hopefully I'll have this out on the Action Trade Alerts, and it's on right now. It's on the It's on on the email on the special on so if you go to the if you're in TikTok, you go to my profile, you click the link, you'll be able to see it. So anyways, here's the deal. Basically, Intel reports earnings on Thursday, and the analysts expect the earnings per share to drop about 13%, which is a lot, and sales to fall about 10% to about 17 billion, which is significant. Basically, heading into the report, Intel's posted flat or declining sales and earnings for 3 straight quarters as it struggles with the production of next generation chips for personal computers and servers. And I think this is going to mean, according to Gavin McMaster of Options IQ, and it's something, by the way, very, very worthwhile following because he's really fantastic in terms of these option plays. Intel's due for about a 6.2 correction, and that's an advantage. That's an opportunity for us. So basically, makes it a good candidate for this bear call spread. Now, here's my proposal. If you do this bear call spread with one contract, you will get a net credit of $769, which is kind of incredible when you think about it. You basically, what you're doing here is you're selling the 45 call, the August 20th 45 call, and you're buying the 55 call, the August 50, and that. So basically, you end up with a net credit of $769. Well, what might happen with that? Well, here's kind of my expected the expected chart for Intel, the expected value chart. So basically, the earnings report is going to happen on Thursday, which is the 22nd. So if you go down here and we look down to about the 6.2% expected move on this trade, if we do it correctly, should pick up possibly as much as $732 if everything goes right. Now, unfortunately, because I didn't put this in earlier, this probably is not going to be quite as good tomorrow. But I'm going to be entering this trade tomorrow and I'm going to do some updates on this. But as long as it stays under about $52, you see this trade will make money. So now this is an odd trade because in this trade, when you do this trade, you get money in, and then you're going to have to give some money back. Maybe or maybe not. If it goes down enough, you won't give any money back. But if it does adjust a little bit, you're going to have to give a little bit of money back. But this should be a positive trade based on the chart as we can see it here. So we do have a downward trending chart on Intel. It just pulled below the 200-day line. This is a very good opportunity to possibly make some money. And if you're watching on TikTok and you want to see this trade, it's available, super easy. All you have to do is go to my profile, click the link, and you'll be able to take a look at this trade, a little slide deck that I've made for that. So thanks for bearing with me on that. I finally have bandwidth, so I'm excited about that. So thanks for holding on here. Thoughts on the Trade Desk and PayPal? Let's look at PayPal first. That's the one, and I definitely have a spread on it. I have a bull spread of this one, but I think I have trade. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I have closed this spread, so I don't have this spread currently. I just closed it this morning, and actually, I've got to see back exactly what I have. But right now, I love PayPal, and I have been recommending it heavily. It is pulled down. We should see a bounce at the 21-day line, and then a movement up. We're right below the buy point, so wait for this one to reverse, and then I think we possibly have a potentially good trade. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in here, and if I can get this in here, temporary line, I'm going to put in a little reversal line. And what this is, everybody, is this line lets me set an alert. So if it goes above this line, that means it's reversed higher. This, I do believe we've bounced off that 21-day line, and that's right here. And I do think it's possibly going to go higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set I'm going to reset the alert on this, and this is the alert for the. I'm going to set it at 296.01, so that if it moves above that, and I think I have this one right here, so I can get that one back. I have them right on top of each other, so let's see if it'll let me. Well, sometimes it won't. Yeah, set alert. Okay. Now I've set the alert, but I've got one right below it that I need to not going to let me. Okay, but anyways, I do think that this is going to be viable as it bounces off the 21-day line. So that's definitely something to look for, Hans. And you know, I do like PayPal in general. We're in a declining market, so you got to be really careful initiating positions here. This just isn't an optimal time. TTD, of course, the trade desk. We did do the options plan in the trade desk. It was pretty successful, actually, considering everything. But the trade desk has pulled back. It is pulled back. There was a reversal. It did have a reversal, as you can see. But then and we're pulling back up to that reversals line. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set an alert on that line. And what I'm doing basically here is I'm setting an alert. Let's see if I can get that in there, right? Yeah. So that's really the reversal line here. Basically, what I'm doing here with these lines is that I'm trying to see when the stock makes a move to higher highs. Right now, it's in a downward trend, the trade desk is, so we don't want to enter it here. But as soon as it starts to move above this line, that's where we want to consider it. Now, one of the things about the trade desk right now is that relative strength is 58, so that's not looking very good, and the checklist is 67, so that's not bad. It's about the minimum that I'll consider, but it's still less than we normally like it. So that's kind of my idea on the trade desk. We're really not actionable on that right now, and we are possibly actionable on PayPal, but we have to wait really until it reverses higher. So that's just that's just kind of the thing. Let's look at G. Thank you. SOFI, SoFi. Let's see if we can get something there. SOFI. And let's pull SoFi Technologies. And let's take a look. All right. Relatively new issue. It's an IPO. And of course, it's a fintech company, which I like fintech companies. But unfortunately, right now, it's in a decline. So we don't want to buy it at this level. We want to wait until it moves above the 50-day line, and we have earnings in 24 days. So really, this thing is, you've got to be careful on this one. Right now, this one is a watch list only, just based on that. So this is a watch list only right now, and I just think this is a watch list only, and you just got to be careful on this one, because it still hasn't bottomed. Now, when it bottoms, and I think the bottom may be here at 13.14, and it shows it's going to move higher, then we can possibly get into it. But it's got a very poor checklist, 33%. This is something I don't like to buy. Don't like to buy checklists this low. So I think with SoFi, we got to be super careful, and just we just got to wait. Unfortunately, I think we just got to wait. Okay, great. Let's see. I think BC is going to hit 25. Yeah, I have been kind of negative. I've been a little bit bearish on Bitcoin, and part of the reason is it's not I think long term, I think Bitcoin is going to be really tremendous. But the problem with Bitcoin is right now it's under attack by the central governments, primarily in China, and they want to get rid of it, and the reason that they want to is because they want to control all of their profit. They want to control their currency. Yeah, and as you can see, let's see Bitcoin, and let's just take a look at it here. Bitcoin has pulled. It did. I want to see what the daily low. It pulled to 30,000. There is definitely support at 30,000. So 30,500. As long as it stays above that, we're okay. But right now is not a good time to be going into Bitcoin. Good time to sell out to dollars and wait to see if we get another opportunity on Bitcoin, because it does look like it does look like it's been trending lower. I want to look at the monthly chart. As you can see, we sort of have this floor, and that floor tends to be about 30,500. So hopefully it won't fall through that. But if it does fall through that, it's likely to go down as low as it's likely to go down as low as 22,000 if it breaches the 30,500 level. Let's look at GBTC to see how that's trading. Yeah, GBTC. The reason I pull up GBTC is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust holds about 4% of the world's Bitcoin, and so by looking at this, we can kind of get the trend on Bitcoin. Unfortunately, we have something in this is very key, and I want to show it to you. It's this little area here. It's called the death cross, okay? And what it means is when the 50-day crosses the 200-day, that means that this issue is in decline right now. So I think we got to be careful with Bitcoin. This might even be a short, and I wouldn't short Bitcoin obviously. The way I short Bitcoin is by basically doing a bull call spread on the GBTC. That's kind of when I do it. That's how I short it. It's the safest way to do it. But I think we're definitely going to be in that territory very, very quickly. All right. So Real Madrid, thank you. Can you please say to me the real value and the real advantages of Bitcoin? That's a good question, Real Madrid. I am not, as you know, I'm probably not a huge fan of Bitcoin. Not it's not that I dislike it. It's just that Bitcoin is the potential for manipulation of Bitcoin is tremendous. Now I know that everyone will tell you no because it has blockchain, it can't be manipulated, but it can be because it is not a true store of value. It's sort of like I don't know what to say. It's sort of like futures on on the market. So Bitcoin itself doesn't have necessarily any real value. Now, of course, here's the thing: it's like anything else that's scarce. The number of Bitcoin that can be produced is 21 million. That's just basically the way it was set up. So as we get closer to that, and I don't quite know exactly how many Bitcoins are in existence, but as we get closer to that number, then there's going to be it's supposedly because of the scarcity, then it will go up in value. But that has not been the case. Unfortunately, it has not been the case. We are seesawing between this very weird stagflation, and it's very strange because consumer prices are going up. There's no question about it, but we have deflation in other areas, and that's very strange. Part of the thing we have deflation in is actual currency, and it's bizarre because the central banks we're printing lots and lots of dollars, but a lot of these dollars are going basically to third world countries that are retiring debt that's based in U.S. dollars. So it, we have the savers and people that are buying in the economy are getting a tough time because they're not getting many of the advantages that prices are going up, but yet some of the debt is actually being deflated. So it's called stagflation. We haven't really seen it since the 1970s, and it makes it very, very tough to trade the market. Basically, everyone gets poor, unfortunately, in stagflation. So I don't recommend Bitcoin as potentially something to hold. Actually, in a deflationary economy, which we're sort of in this weird stagflation, the best thing to have is cash, and sounds very, very strange, but it is because on the flip side of this, what's going to happen is we're going to see sell-offs in the market. We're going to see sell-offs in the market, and we're probably going to see a decline in the value of real estate as well. So that's coming in the next 6 to 9 months. So it's a good time to bolster your cash position and get ready for some opportunities because there will be opportunities. There's absolutely no question about it. All right, thank you very, very much. Let's look at LTNC. I bought. Oh, last time, boy, this is okay. So this is really penny stock. This doesn't look necessarily good, but let me just take a look at LTNC and see what's going on there. See if LTNC. LTNC. Let's see if we've got that coming up here. I'm not getting. I guess this is one of the coins that I'm not familiar with, unfortunately. All right, thank you, Satish. I can't be very excited about NEO right now because of Tesla. It did pull up to the 21. It did pull up to the 50-day line, but this the right now NEO does not look very healthy. Okay, it does not. It does not look very healthy. It looks like it is tried to make a rally attempt, and it looks like it's failed. I'm not saying I'm totally negative on it, and it does have a very good checklist, but I think you got to be really careful. I would not be in this one right now, but if I had shares in it, I would keep them. But because we have rallied up, but I just don't like, we're right on the bubble right here with the 50-day moving average. If we move below this 50-day moving average, then I think we got to get out. But it might rally from this point. I mean, if you buy right now and it rallies, look, you will be an absolute genius. You will look like an absolute genius. But I can't really say anything in that. Yeah, there may be a bubble in Bitcoin. There may be a bubble in Bitcoin. Every time has every there's always these bubbles. I mean, and you're right. I think it might be. I mean, this goes back 400 years. This is nothing new under the sun. There are all of these bubbles, and Bitcoin is probably one of them. To be honest with you, if I had Bitcoin, and I had a lot of Bitcoin profits right now, I consider lightening up on Bitcoin and possibly putting them into what I consider real assets, such as gold. To be honest, yeah, because I think gold is really good. My average is 43. Okay, um, not bad. Okay, here's the thing, Satoshi. Here's what I would do on Bitcoin. I would raise my stop loss to 43, and then if it moves up beyond that, then you could push up your stop loss. But you just don't want to lose any money. The worst thing that can happen is if it loses support at this 200-day line. If it loses support at the 200-day line, believe me, it can go a lot lower, and it can go a lot lower quickly. So you want to protect yourself by basically putting in, a very, uh, you know, I would put in a stop loss probably 2% below about 43, which is going to be, 40, above, it's about 42.50 or so. I'd put it in there. And then if it moves up tomorrow, and it may move up tomorrow, just hold your stop loss, keep pushing it up, just get it to where when it pulls back, you're going to get what you're going to get out with profit, because I think you could definitely lose some money. Um, on these. Absolutely, there are bubbles in the stock market all the time, but here's the difference between the stock market and Bitcoin. Actually, believe it or not, the underlying stocks in the economy, they actually represent real production. And that is different than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has absolutely, it's a virtual currency, and it really does not have any real production associated with it. You can't eat it. Now, of course, you can say the same thing with gold too, and this is why I'm not as much of a gold bug as a lot of other people are, because gold is just a metal. You can't really do anything with it. Yeah, you can make some nice jewelry out of it, but you can't eat it. Other things are actually real, and you can do things with them. So that is definitely true as well. But as a store of value, I think gold is probably a better, more proven asset class because it's been around for 5,000 years. And you only have single party risk on it, meaning that it doesn't matter once you have it in your possession. It's not like Bitcoin, where it's a multi-party thing, or a currency where you have multi-party risk. With gold, you don't, and that's been around for 5,000 years. So that's my opinion with hedges and stores of value. And by the way, I am not a fan of silver, and I know that sounds really strange, but I think that really the only true store of kind of intergenerational single party risk store of value is gold, but it's not really that great a performer. So you're not going to make money in it. Okay, LNTC is Labor Smart Water, endorsed by Manny Pacquiao. But thank you very much for the Apple call. Oh, it makes money. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao is a great guy. I mean, Philippines are fantastic, but the problem with many of these smaller stocks is they're just too illiquid, and there's not enough in them. So you want to be careful. You just want to be careful. Right now, it's time to step back a little bit from the market as the market is trading. It's kind of trading in a strange way. So. But I really thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, we did well in Apple, and I think Apple is going to pull back, but I think it's going to bounce. It's just so widely held. That's the main thing there with Apple. So thank you for that very, very much. Best long-term buys when a crash is coming. Well, there are some companies that I think you can look at. If we're going into a period of time in which it's going to be a little bit more tough sledding. Um, there are some big cat techs that I think is really good. Now I know this is going to sound like a no-brainer here, but I Microsoft has been holding up fairly well. It did pull back a little bit today, but I think overall, you know, this is one that you can probably depend on. I don't think that we're going to get rid of computers, and still, even now, even now, Microsoft is very profitable. Now, here's what I'm going to do because of the market situation. I'm probably, unless you have 10%, unless you have a 10% profit cushion right now going into earnings, it's a good idea to sell these right before earnings. For Microsoft, earnings is in 8 days, so it's a good idea to kind of make a calendar and with alerts telling you when to do this. So I'm probably going to be a seller of Microsoft coming into earnings, and then if it does well, I'll be buying it back. But that's one long-term leader that I think that definitely can definitely do well. All right, is SQQQ and UVXY better to buy this red Marcus or Olga? Here's the thing. Right now, I think the best thing to do is to take a neutral stance. I don't think you want to buy the SQQQ right now because it can move against you very quickly. So right now, I don't think that the SQQQ is the thing to do, or the UVXY, just because these are hedging tools, and you have many of the big funds that are going in and out of these. So I think that the reason hedging tools exist is because you have many of these big funds, they can't get in and out of positions. So what they do is when the market changes like that, they put hedges on. So I wouldn't be in either of those. The same goes true with oil and gold. I think you've got to be very careful on this. Now, that said, there are some things out there that may do well in this environment, and one of them might be the GLD. And take a look at that. This is the gold. This is the gold shares. This is the bullion ETF. It is below the 200-day line, so it's not really buyable at this level. But right now, really right now, your best bet, unless it's just a very good setup, your best bet right now is cash. I know that sounds very strange, but right now your best bet is cash. XOXI. All right, let's look at that. XI. I am not seeing it. XOXI. OXI. Nope, unfortunately, I don't see that one. Okay, let's look at NVIDIA. Once again, I've covered this twice so far, but it's always good to look at it. Okay, NVIDIA is, as we predicted, it's pulling back before the it's pulling back before the split 4-for-1. It will be split 4-for-1. There's a lot of activity after hours on this. This probably will trade up tomorrow. It's looking like NVIDIA is likely to trade up tomorrow. It's probably a good time to possibly be looking to wade back into the market. Here's where I would probably get back into NVIDIA. Let's see if I can put it in there. I would probably be coming in at about 770. So let's take a look to see what it'll be trading on split sphere. So at 770, and this is the last day that it's going to be trading this way. It's gonna open tomorrow at about 192.5. So I think that there's probably some upside potential from about 192 up to about 200. So I'm looking at possibly buying, again, I'm not buying very much, but I do think that NVIDIA is possibly the one. If it can move above about 195, that's where I'm going to be looking to possibly go in for NVIDIA. So right now, it's this is the last day that it's traded unsplit. It'll split, and it will be trading at about it'll open at about 192 or so tomorrow. So get ready for that. Get ready for that. All right. What do you think in general about emerging markets like Africa? In my opinion, these markets could be the next thing. Yeah, they could be. But you know what? They've been saying that about. Here's the thing about Africa. It's a very sad story. I mean, South Africa right now is imploding, and it is probably going to get worse. They've unfortunately in South Africa they made some very very bad mistakes with their government, and they're going to pay heavily. All the capital is moving away from Africa now. The only capital that's really moving into Africa right now is from China, and of course it doesn't really benefit anybody there. So it mainly benefits um, it mainly benefits many of the Chinese companies. So I don't think that Africa. I think that Africa is a very very hard place to do business. I wouldn't. I'm not investing there, and I don't plan to because unfortunately it's just one of these things. It's a perpetual. It's a perpetual. It's a perpetual hole. I mean, it just has not worked. Africa has really not worked very well since about the 1950s and 60s, and it's just a sad thing. I mean, I don't see them being very successful. Now, Asia, on the other hand, I see being very successful. I think especially Southeast Asia, places like Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, these places are on fire. These are places that are great. Latin America, not so much. I'm not really. I love Latin America. I love Latin American people, but it's just one disaster after another. Cuba is in a revolt right now. Venezuela is starving. Um, I mean, it's these unforced errors. So, and I don't see Europe really as being all that great a place. Now, I'm sorry, Western Europe. Eastern Europe, on the other hand, I like. I like places like Poland. I like places like Czechoslovakia. These places are growing, but they're relatively small economies. So, at least for right now, the only game in town really is North America and Asia, and that's just pretty much it. So I wouldn't be an investor in Africa. I just wouldn't. I mean, I hate to say that, but I think that they're just going to remain poor. That's just likely, unfortunately. Let's look at. And by the way, I also think that the Indian subcontinent, Southern Asia, is going to do very well. I just absolutely see it. I mean, look at the increases that you've had in. I mean, there's a lot of issues with India. There's a lot of issues with Pakistan, but those areas are going to do well. I'm just convinced. So those are the areas I like. I like Asia, especially Southeast Asia and South Asia. I like North America. I'm not so hot on Western Europe. Better, a little bit better on Eastern Europe. South America, I'm afraid, is a black hole, and the same thing is true with Africa. And I know that's to be so. Um, um, I think that's being so dismissive. Question from TikTok: is crypto going up or down? I think it's holding its own, but I would be moving out of crypto right now. And Workhorse is probably another one that is probably not doing as well. I haven't been in this one really for over a year now. And let's just see. Let's just look at Workhorse WKHS. I know that a lot of people bought this thinking that it would be the next Tesla. It doesn't appear to be, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just going down. So with Workhorse, I think you just got to be super careful. And I just don't think it's a buy right now. Yeah, so unfortunately. All right. Um, question on NNMMDM. Let's look at that. NNDM. Yeah, let's look. Nano Dimensions. Okay, this is an interesting company. Great company, but again, Nano Dimensions. It's in a good area, but it's pulled back. I just would be careful buying it here. We're below the 200-day line, and that is not good for me. So let's look at the criteria here. 60 funds are owning it, so that's pretty good. 56. I think you gotta watch this, Mr. Ali. I really think you have to, unfortunately. So I would watch this one for now. I just think we got to watch list this one. So watch list. For now. Yeah, I think that's really kind of what we got to do with Nano Dimensions. I wish that it was better, but I think that's kind of the situation with Nano. All right. Well, I have gone over. Let's take the last few questions because I had so much technical difficulty. I'm going over a little bit here, but thank you very much. Let's look at this one is good. AN. This is definitely AutoNation. This is the one I have an order to buy this one right now, and very very good, Christian. This is a really good stock. This is one I think you could buy. This will do well. This has a 100% checklist, by the way. And so it's just lined up perfectly. It's right under a buy zone. Here's the thing with AutoNation. If you want to get into a stock, this is definitely one to do. I think you could easily do a half position here, and do it with a buy stop limit at 10. The limit being 106.99. The stop is being 106.99, and the limit being 107.09. If you went in with a buy stop limit on this one, this would be an excellent play. This is a good stock. You will do well with this one, I believe. So basically, for AN, AutoNation, buy, stop, limit, order, and the limit equals 106. Oops. 106.99, and the stop the stop equals 106.99, and the limit equals 107.09. So that's going to give you probably a good that's going to give you. There we go. Now hopefully we can show that. There we go. So this is how I would buy AutoNation. It's excellent stock. What we want to do is we want to, where the best place to get in is right here, right at the buy point, right at it. So that's where we want to get in with the buy stop limit order. So we can do that by setting a buy stop limit at 106.99. That's the stop, and then the limit is 107.09. Now here's how that works. If the stock moves up tomorrow, and it looks as definitely like it's going to, it's pulled back a little bit after hours, but we want to buy it on strength. We want to buy it right at the buy point, and the way to do that is with the buy stop limit order. We set that stop at 106.99, and then we set the limit at 107.09. And then if it moves above 106.99, then we offer to buy it at 107.09, and then hopefully we get it at that price. But this is looking very, very strong. This is extremely strong stock in every way. So that is the one. So the two stocks that I think you ought to put on your watch list basically are DocuSign, DOCU, and AN, AutoNation. So that's what it's looking like for me. Well, thank you very much for bearing with all my technical difficulties. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to have these bandwidth issues figured out here. I just didn't have enough bandwidth going in here. I doubled it up and it seems to have worked. So that seems to be solving my problem here. Until tomorrow at 2:30, happy trading. Thanks so much for everyone for watching. I'll be back, and if you want to get on that action trailers, very, very easy to do. Just go to www.sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So without further ado,